Alright, greetings from the ship channel here in Sacramento. I'm just over here on a kayak doing a little fishing, but then I don't know, no fish are biting, so the next best thing to do is what I always do, and that's biologize. And I'm not too sure if you can hear in the background all those biological noises, and what I'm talking about is birds. And birds seems to be the thing for today that I feel like discussing, since there's no damn fish to be caught. So as you can see, there's a few birds on the shore right there, and they're all different species. So we're gonna try to take a look at each and every one of them. Hopefully we can get close enough to where we don't spook them, because I'm gonna be, yapping my gums. And believe it or not, birds hear that, and some species, they get spooked because they don't want to hear your nasty human ass. Now, I still don't have a camera good enough to zoom in on birds like from far distances and everything, so I'm just using my phone still. But anyway, first group of birds that we got here represent the order Anseriformes. Anseriformes is the order of ducks and geese. And this one we have right here is Branta canadensis, very common bird. I'm sure you've seen them no matter where you live at in the United States. Otherwise known as the Canada goose. It's a migratory bird species. A lot of them are residents, actually. You can find them all year round, all throughout the states, but you can find them in Canada, all the way to the East Coast, all over North America. Very common bird. Yeah, they can be really mean, pissed off parents if you get to the nest. They get really aggressive, kind of looks like a little miniature brontosaurus trying to attack you. But other than that, they're harmless. It just pays for this species to be abusive to others, because it protects them at the same time. But even though they're assholes like that, they'll still have no problem begging your ass for food. And with that being said, don't feed the wildlife. Oh yeah, by the way, ducks and geese many of them are what you call swimming birds, meaning they float at the top and they use their webbed feet to propel themselves through the water. Many ducks do that, many geese do that, obviously. These geese have long necks, so they can reach down and sift through the algae and other aquatic plant life material, kind of sifting out amphipods and mollusks and all the other invertebrates, worms and stuff like that. They have fine grooves in their beaks that allow sifting of silt and algae to get more tasty, more nutritious, more. All right, this next one I'm gonna have to creep on real slow because they can be pretty skittish. They don't really like people getting really too close to them, unless you're on a fishing boat where you got food. I had no idea these were related to pelicans. When I was taught birds, these were put in their own order, I believe, or an order more closely related to, I believe, shorebirds like seagulls and stuff. But I don't know, I could be wrong. But yeah, this is Ardea alba, otherwise known as the great egret. There it goes, flying away. So what they do is they wade in the shallows along the banks of rivers and lakes, as you can see here, and they wait for little fish to pop out of the reeds and plants and stuff, and they basically just stab it with their beaks. They don't just eat fish too, they'll eat, oh, there it goes right there. That was an attempt. Oh, maybe it got something. Usually when they lift their head out of the water after they strike, that means they got something, because they're swallowing it. Every time I try to talk, someone always try to interrupt me. Alright, so this is Ardea herodias, otherwise known as the great blue heron. They typically grow a little bigger than great egrets, around the same size as great egrets, but they're obviously a different color, more bluish gray, with that dark band coming out from behind the eye. Yellow bill. Another wading bird does the same thing as a great egret. It'll wade in the shallows, and it'll use that kind of kinked neck with that mechanical mechanism that allows for like a spring action to shoot its beak into the water and stab whatever fish or animal that it's trying to eat. And just like the egret, like these I mean, you know what, I don't even know the difference really between herons and egrets. I don't think I ever learned that. As far as I know, they're all in the same family. They're all in the same group. They all have that classic kink in the neck. They're all, well, not all of them are wading birds. Some of them, like the green heron, they kind of hang out on branches and on docks. And some of them are even known to use bait to lure in fish so they can pick them off easier. Boom, there it is. Looks like it missed. Oh, maybe it got something. I've seen these birds in Southern California, coastal estuaries, targeting ground squirrels. Yeah, they eat mammals. They'll eat ground squirrels, rats, probably other birds. They're pretty advantageous when it comes to eating stuff. Again, you've probably seen this bird. If you ever been close to the water, close to the beach, any lake or anything, like these can be found all over the US, all over Mexico. I'm pretty sure they can be found outside of the country too. All right, another bird we're gonna have to creep up on, and another example in the order Pelecaniformes. Another one in the family Ardeidae. However, not in the genus Ardea. This is Egret. Oh, damn, people just. We don't have to find another one. All right, hopefully we can get this one without any interruptions. All right, here we got Egret, also known as the snowy egret. Now this is a smaller egret, still in the family Ardeidae, still in the order Pelecaniformes. I'm scaring it right now because I'm talking, but hopefully it goes back to doing what it was doing. So what these guys do, again, they're wading birds, so they'll wade in the shallows, but these guys like to shut the fuck. The snowy egret. Oh, boy, it's hungry. Yeah, again, another wading bird in the family Ardeidae. However, it's in a different genus, in the genus Egret. It's a smaller egret, I guess a true egret, about maybe like a third of the size of the great blue heron and the great egret. And these guys have a small, thin, black beak. And as you can see right there, they wade in more shallow areas. They can't wade as deep as the herons and the great egrets. So these guys hang out in more shallow areas, kind of like in the mud flats that are covered by algae. And what they do is they do that little shimmy thing that you see them doing with their legs. They have yellow feet, bright yellow feet, and they'll just shimmy their feet through the mud, trying to stir up any little animal, any little fish, invertebrate, crawdad, whatever, just try to spook it, and then it moves in for the kill using that classic S-shape egret neck with those kinks in there that allow them to spring out and stab whatever they're trying to eat. But again, a third species in the same family of a group of birds that are specialized to wade in the shallow areas of aquatic ecosystems. Ooh, got some. Ooh. Yeah, look at it fly. See that kink in the neck helps it draw back its face like closer to its body, so it keeps it more balanced while flying through the air. Just you know, just perfections in evolution that I'm trying to explain today. That's all. Just perfections in evolution, built and perfected for foraging and getting something to eat in an environment like this. By the way, these are all levee systems. This is not natural. This isn't a natural riverbank here. This shit was cut out, I don't know, in like the 1920s or something like that, so ships can come in here and grab rice and then take it away to be shipped somewhere else. These are called levees, and they were built by tractor equipment, and to be honest, the levees suck. It's only a matter of time before they break and a bunch of people die. But I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be, you know, dark or anything like that, but it's just reality, that's all. But, you know, like, there's wildlife here, so that's all I really care about, you know. I don't know if y'all can see that right there. That's your classic mallard. The common duck that duck hunters and that you'll probably see at city parks everywhere. Like, people like to feed them. Very common. People even bred them into different colors, shapes, and sizes. Food, and people eat the eggs and everything. Yeah, must be a lot of food in the water. Must be a lot of fish going on. A lot of bait fish for these Ardeids to be eating all the time. Which kind of pisses me off because I'm fishing and like, oh, look at what's going on over there. By the way, these are gulls in the order Caradriiformes. I have no idea what gull they are, but if I was to take a guess, I'd probably either say herring gull or western gull, something in the genus Larus. Anyway, they're getting a little active. That's a good sign for fishing. I did come out here to fish, so I intend to catch one, and we're gonna see if we can make that happen right now. This unfortunate individual right here. I wonder what happened to it. All right, this sad individual that I found floating in the water here, this is Lepomis microlophus, otherwise known as the red-eared sunfish. And the reason why they call it the red-eared sunfish is because of that little red mark right outside of its operculum. Oh, there's a prominent shot. For some reason on this side it's not as red, but there you go, that red ear right there. It's a transient swimming fish in the family Centrarchidae, which is the same family as largemouth bass, you know, Micropterus salmoides. An introduced species here to the river systems of Northern California. Introduced from the East Coast or from the Eastern United States, like the Mississippi River watershed and eastward. They're a very voracious fish, predatory transient swimmer, just kind of waiting around the vegetation and tules and stuff, just waiting for tasty morsels to swim by so they can pick them off. They compete with native fish too. And they do a damn good job competing with them, so much to the point that, you know, these things are everywhere. And as far as I know, a very tasty fish too. So if you like fishing, go ahead and catch as many of these as you want. Eat as many of them as you want. Notice these long pectoral fins though. So these pectoral fins give me a clue that they move around a lot in the water column. You know, they probably use those fins for balance, for pitch, roll, and yaw stability as they're moving through the water. Very thin, long pectoral fins, and you see those a lot in a lot of ocean fish, believe it or not. Even though this ain't an ocean, it is tidally influenced. Like the water goes up and down at least twice a day here. So this is a species of fish that is well built for that type of aquatic climate, so to speak. Got that classic protruding mouth, which creates that vacuum to suck up whatever food items that it's trying to eat. Nice big eyes on the side of the head, which can actually ultimately point forward so it can lock on whatever it's trying to eat. This is a pretty big one too, probably full-grown adult for sure. They can get bigger than this too. I've seen them way bigger. Anyway, I'm just gonna return it where I found it, and maybe a bird or an otter can pick it up. This individual is done. But whatever, it's an introduced species, so. Well, look at what we got here. We got our first example of a mammal. This is Lontra canadensis, aka the American river otter. Typical wild mammal found here. It's in the family Mustelidae, which is related to ferrets and wolverines and stuff like that. Yeah, for a mammal, they're very agile swimmers. Somewhere along evolutionary time, the ancestors of these were terrestrial, and they basically evolved a body plan that allows them to forage within these systems of high ecotone between terrestrial and aquatic landscapes. They have that classic curved spine that mammals all have, which allows them dorsal-ventral flexion to give them more boost as they're swimming through the water. Not to mention that they have webbed feet to give them more fine-tuned movements when they're foraging, looking for crayfish and other fish and anything else they can eat. They got sharp-ass canine teeth and classic mammal jaws that allow for crunching and shearing flesh. But yeah, that streamlined body makes it easy for them to kind of like snake through and lizard through, I guess, if that's even the term, or basically kind of weave through all the vegetation underneath logs and have an advantage to kind of scare out any prey item that it might be looking for. Okay, on the way out, we got another Ardeiid bird, another common bird that I wanted to show. So we're gonna try to sneak up on it real quick. This one's smaller than the ones that we are normally used to seeing And also on top of that, it's not a wading bird. It actually perches on branches and other low-lying structures, so it can peer into the water and try to snatch any bait fish. All right, let me see if I can zoom in on it right now. Boom, there it is. I don't know if y'all can see that right there. That is Budarodes virescens, otherwise known as the green heron. Also in the family Ardeidae, but instead of wading, it perches. But it's still got that classic kink in the neck that allows that spring action in order to catch its prey. All right, we got another member of the Anseriform order of ducks and geese and swans and stuff. This is Merganser, otherwise known as the common Merganser, common freshwater pursuit diving bird. So unlike most ducks, these ducks have evolved a body plan, a body style that is suitable for chasing fish underwater, and that's what these do really well. And apparently they're really fast flyers too, at least fast going horizontally, super fast flyers. You can see them flying down the contours of the river pretty regularly throughout the year. I think it's starting to get into its breeding plumage right now. That's why it has that kind of like rusty, kind of almost chestnut reddish head. But yeah, even though that don't look like a duck, don't it? Because it's got a nice pointy beak, but you know, they are related to ducks. It is a duck. So we should all learn to be calm in life like ducks. You know, calm at the surface, but the feet pedaling, moving under, taking it places.